According to sociologist Louis Wirth, a minority has 5 key features. 1. It has distinctive physical or cultural characteristics that can be used to separate it from the majority. 2. It is dominated by a majority. 3. Its traits are believed by the dominant majority to be inferior and are used to justify unequal treatment. 4. Members have a common sense of identity with strong group loyalty. 5. The majority determines who belongs to the minority through ascribed status. Remember, numbers alone are not the basis of the sociological definition of a minority. For example, women in the US outnumber males, but are still considered to be a minority. People in a racial group share certain inherited physical characteristics that are considered important within a society. There are only 3 races in the world, which are European, African, and Asian. There is no such thing as a pure race, and there is no scientific evidence that connects racial characteristics to superiority. People in the same ethnicity group are identified by cultural, religious, or national characteristics. An ethnic minority is a subculture defined by its own language, religion, values, beliefs, norms, and customs. Ethnocentrism is judging others in terms of one's own cultural standards. Assimilation is the blending or fusing of minority groups into the dominant society. There are 5 forms of assimilation. Anglo-conformity is to conform to the accepted standards of the society while traditional institutions are maintained. Melting pot is the ethnic and racial minorities voluntarily blending together. In a tossed salad, traditions and cultures exist side by side. In cultural pluralism, they recognize immigrants' desire to maintain at least a remnant of their old ways. In accommodation, they maintain their own cultural, unique way of life while dealing with the dominant culture when necessary. Approaches that dominant cultures take in their rejection of minority groups results in conflict. There are 3 forms. Genocide is a systemic effort to destroy an entire population. Population transfer is when minorities are forced to either move to a remote location or to entirely leave the territory controlled by the majority. Subjugation is when minorities are denied equal access to the benefits of society. In de jure segregation, there is a denial of equal access based on the law. In de facto segregation, there is a denial of equal access based on everyday practice.
Prejudice is widely held negative attitudes towards a minority or majority group and its individual members. Prejudiced attitudes are based on strong emotions, so they are often difficult to change even in the face of overwhelming evidence. Racism is an extreme form of prejudice that assumes superiority of one group over others. Racists believe that discrimination or exclusion is morally justified because of their own natural superiority. Discrimination is treating people differently based on ethnicity, race, religion, or culture. Discrimination takes many forms, including avoiding social contact with members of a minority group, denying them positions that carry authority, and blocking their access to more exclusive neighborhoods. Hate crime is a criminal act that is motivated by prejudice. It involves bias related to race, religion, sexual orientation, ethnicity, or disability. Stereotypes are a set of ideas based on distortion, exaggeration, and oversimplification that is applied to all members of a group, sometimes called to justify unethical behavior against minority groups.
According to functionalism, ethnocentrism can create a feeling of superiority within the majority group, which can in turn strengthen own self-concepts from both groups. According to conflict theory, a majority increases control of its resources by prejudice and discrimination. In this perspective, minorities tend to see each other as rivals rather than allies. According to symbolic interactionism, members of society learn prejudice and discrimination through experiences, language, and self-fulfilling prophecy, which is an expectation that eventually becomes a reality.
Institutionalized discrimination is the unfair practices that grow out of common behaviors and attitudes and that are a part of the structure of a society. It has caused some ethnic and racial groups to lag behind the white majority in jobs, income, and education. African Americans are the largest racial minority group in the U.S., meaning 12.7% of their population, equaling 37 million. They are the oldest minorities in the country, brought as slaves in the early 1600s. Their average income consists of $30,134. They work in low-level service jobs, and advances include 25% now working professional managerial jobs. They increase political presence in U.S. government and business ownership. Latinos are the second largest minority group in the U.S. They each diverse group came under different circumstances. They fall behind the white population in education, and their average income consists of $34,241. They semi-skilled and unskilled laborers and politically growing. Native Americans have an average income of $33,132. Native American reservations have introduced the gaming casino type industry, and governments use that money to provide services. Their challenges include improvement of healthcare, education, housing, and income. Asian Americans are 4% of the total population, equaling 12 million. The largest groups are from China, the Philippines, Japan, India, Korea, and Vietnam. They use the educational system for upward mobility within social classes. White ethnic races are descendants of Eastern and Southern European nations, specifically Italy and Poland. They are typically blue-collar workers and are separate from the white Anglo-Saxon Protestants since they are Catholic.